To the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. We're off campus at Sam Boyd Stadium with my partner, Sed Bonner. I'm Drew Goodman. I'm glad halftime came when it did because we needed to catch our breath. That was crazy.
Probably one of the best first halves of football we've seen. There's a couple turnovers, but well played, not a lot of penalties. Very entertaining first half.
Very entertaining. We thought the scoring was done, and then both teams scored in the final minute or so of the first half. Kurt Palandech getting the start, and he is not disappointed.
He hasn't. He's been accurate, throwing 12 of 19, 159 yards and a touchdown. Has also added 55 yards rushing. He's changed the dynamic of the game with his legs and just being consistent, making smart plays. Some of his incompletions were him throwing the ball away when he had to, making good decisions. That's something this team hasn't had. They've completed just 47% of their passes on the season. He's way better than that today.
Well, Wyoming made good decisions at times. They did have some turnover issues in the first half, which is unusual for them. But the Allied player of the first half, Tanner Gentry, only 2 catches. So how are you the player of the first half when you make catches like this?
That's the first one right there. He fights back around the defender who had good coverage. And this one, I mean, come on. That's got to be on that other network all night long. The one-hand catch, he stabs it for the touchdown with a minute left in the half. Crucial play at a crucial moment where the Cowboys needed it. Tanner Gentry delivered.
UNLV had most of the momentum for the first half, saved that defensive touchdown from Logan Wilson, a fumble recovery in the end zone for Wyoming. But you made a great point, partner, late in the first half. Wyoming, because they deferred getting the football, and they're within 6 points to start the second half.
But they've got to get some rhythm for Josh Allen. He's just 5 of 11. A lot of yards, but he's been inconsistent in the pass game. They've got to get that turned around and be more efficient.
And I'll add this. Brian Hill's one of the great runners in America. He had 33 yards in the first half. He had 10 carries. They got to establish him again.
They do. They've got to take control of the line of scrimmage. They've got some young guys up front. They're seeing some things they haven't seen. They've got to fix it, play well up front, give them an opportunity to run.
Well, if the second half is anything close to what we witnessed in the first half, you are in for a treat. 30-24 at halftime. Third quarter's next from Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. Tremendously entertaining first half from Las Vegas, and we are set for the second 30 minutes from Sam Boyd Stadium. With Sed Bonner and Brad Thompson, I'm Drew Goodman. We're glad all of you are along on Root Sports. Wyoming will get the second half kickoff. Kurt Palandech will wait his turn. Craig Bohl's team, extraordinary year, 7-2 after a 2-10 season last year. They're 5-0 in the Mountain West Conference. And they have done such a good job of focusing on one game at a time. We all know that's a coach's cliche, but they really have done that well, because ahead for Wyoming is San Diego State, which could very well be a preview of the Mountain West Conference Championship game. But first things first, they trailed by 6 here at UNLV, and Craig Bohl told his team all week long, he said, you're going to get all you want from a Rebels team, and they're getting that.
They're ready. I don't think they underestimated UNLV at all.
Nope.
But the Rebels just came out with the right mentality. They're playing hard. They're playing fast.
You got to come out with this now. DJ May. It looked like a disaster, and he ends up getting out to the 28-yard line. Let's go downstairs, see what Brad Thompson learned at halftime. Brad?
Guys had a chance to talk with both coaches at halftime. For UNLV and Coach Sanchez, he loved the focus and the energy his team had. He's really trying to carry that through halftime and into the second half. And he said defensively, they just got to prevent the big plays, score a few more touchdowns instead of field goals. For Craig Bohl, he wasn't happy with the way his team played defensively. They gave up a lot of yards. He wants to limit them on first and second down and offensively get the running game going. Guys?
Yeah, let's see if they do that right here, Brad. Again, just 10 carries for Brian Hill in the first half, and he's going to start the second half with the football. He's going to bull ahead for about 3 yards. He's just too gifted not to get a lot of touches. Cal Lotulele made the tackle.
They know they have to get him the ball, but you've also just got to make sure that if you do throw it, it doesn't always have to be shot throws. You got to get the short passing game going. Keep UNLV on their heels and force them to play everything up front. They're getting behind, throwing deep balls. You got to complete the short passes.
21 more snaps in the first half for UNLV than Wyoming. That was part of the issue, I'm sure, also. They go play action here. And again, it's a deep throw. Man's all alone, and it's dropped. That was a blown coverage. That was a blown coverage.
And that's why I talk about Josh Allen. It's Jacob Hollister wide open. It's almost like a rub route. You get a corner and a post with these two guys. So this guy's going to go inside. This guy's going to work back outside underneath the coverage. Blown coverage, he misses it. And that's where you need to be patient, especially if you're in a clean pocket. You're patient there, you put the ball on your receiver where he can run with it after the catch.
It was low, but Hollister, I'm sure, will say after the game he should have caught it. 3rd down and 6. 6 coming for UNLV. On a 9 route, it is incomplete. They were trying to get it to Mulhart. Good coverage downfield by McTire.
And that's, you got to give your guy a chance on the field. You've got a 6'6" receiver going up against a 6-foot DB. Keep it on the field, drop it in the bucket, let him go up and catch it. They're not going to call pass interference if it lands 3 yards out of bounds. You're never going to get that call.
Makai Stevenson calls for a fair catch, and it's executed at the 36-yard line. So UNLV gets a 3 and out on Wyoming. They have the football in the lead, 30-24, just underway in the 3rd quarter.
Talk about Josh Allen being a little bit off timing, off kilter, struggling to kind of find his way in this game, but has made some big plays. 4 of his completions are over 20+ yards. But he's got to find his rhythm. So he seems to be missing it today.
Green, play fake, and this is complete to Boyd. He's been wide open throughout the ball game. To midfield and a 1st down. Rico Gafford has had the tough assignment to cover him man for man throughout the afternoon.
And he's got to be licking his chops, talking about Devonte Boyd, because every time he comes out and he gets single coverage, with his speed and ability to break his routes off and cut it down and stop and cut on a dime, it's tough coverage.
Williams checks in, he has the football, and he breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. That has been a theme throughout this ball game. And I know Coach Bowl and Coach Stannard for Wyoming, they're going to look at this tape and they're say, wow, did we miss a lot of tackles.
Shades of the past for the Cowboys, because that's something that ailed them last year, is missed tackles. But there's one there by Logan Wilson. Another missed tackle right there by Andrew Wingard.
And you're talking about sure tacklers too.
Yeah, both those guys, sure tacklers. Doesn't happen, but they've got to wrap up, keep their feet, and run through the tackle.
Williams breaks 3 tackles on that run, and he gets 9.
Wingard really tackled the shoe right there and threw it off the field. He had the shoe.
Yeah, that's all I got out of that one.
That's all I got. I got Charles Williams' shoe. Watch Andrew Wingard come through here. Right there, he holds on, and Williams runs out of it with a shoe. Still in Wingard's hand.
Williams well over 600 yards rushing this year. He now has the freshman record for rushing at UNLV. 30-24. Rebels up, 2nd and 2 from the +26. This will be a 1st down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. That was Campbell again. Marcus Epps making the tackle. And this is a pride thing right now.
It really is. Josiah Hall has a chance to get him down for maybe a half-yard gain, but he runs right through the tackle and continues on. But we're talking about a 215, 220-pound back that's got his pad level down, running physical.
Campbell gets another call. That time he gets just a couple. Tackle made by DJ May and Lucas Waka.
And again, you can't say enough about the job that this offensive line is doing, along with the tight ends, Cantaman, Holt, and Price, rotating in, going in 2 tight end set.
You know what it does? I said, you remember this as a quarterback. You start getting so nosy with the safeties, it opens up those skinny posts. Here's Palandech trying to get to the edge. He makes a man miss. Inside the 10 to the 7-yard line, 1st and goal, UNLV.
And another missed tackle. That's 6 missed tackles on this drive alone. from the Cowboys. You're going to see him get outside on the zone read. There's two guys there. Logan Wilson, he gives him a stiff arm and runs out of that tackle. Rico Gafford misses. He gets a couple extra yards.
How about this stat? 21 first downs now for UNLV, just 5 for Wyoming. Campbell toward the end zone. Did he get in? They're going to mark him just shy of the goal line.
I don't know if I wouldn't take a look at that, because that looked like he was up. See the big blocks inside, and guy's doing a nice job at the point of attack. As he's up off the ground and lunges, there's no part of his body that's down. The knee is down. No, that's a good call. You see the knee right there down. That's a good call by the officials. Really good call.
Campbell stays in the game, offset to the right of Palandech. He'll get the football, and he walks into the end zone. Touchdown, UNLV.
They've got something inside. Kreitler, Chevalier, Polu, Jacobson, Saxlett. The offensive line for the Rebels are blowing the Cowboys off of the spot, controlling that offensive, controlling the line of scrimmage.
And then the running backs are making 2 and 3 guys have to tackle them.
Right. Running behind your pads with 200 plus pounds. Very tough to tackle.
And their starter hasn't played it down. He's got a bad ankle, Lexington Thomas.
It's going to be a false start on the offensive line.
He was had an easy day, that gentleman.
False start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. The try will be from the 8-yard line.
That's Marvell July, and that's the first time we've heard him all day, because that was the first penalty of the game. And it comes with 10:37 to go on an extra point in the third quarter.
Third quarter.
Third quarter.
I mean, that tells you there's been some turnovers.
I was up in Boulder a week and a half ago, UCLA and Colorado.
I had to turn it off. I was watching it.
They threw 467 flags.
That's got to be some kind of record.
I counted. The extra point is good. 37-24 UNLV. What a day for Xavier Campbell. Looking for a signature win, and it's a long way to go in this one, but they are 13 points ahead of 7-2 Wyoming. DJ May from the 3. To the 26-yard line. Wyoming has been somewhat impatient offensively in this game. Said, see if it changes on this series.
Well, they've definitely got to continue to try to force the run. But when you get in maybe first down, go hitches. Run the short passing game early on in the series. That'll loosen that line of scrimmage up, because there have been times where we've seen 10 men in the box.
Going to roll and throw on first down, and Molhart has it above the 30, and that's kind of what you're talking about, isn't it?
Early down, short passing yards, use that as part of the running game. And that's a good job, good throw and catch. Create space, you get that defensive lineman running. Get him running downfield, you move the pocket.
Second and 5 after that catch by Jake Molhart. Here comes Hill, downhill, first down yardage, and Hill drives ahead to the 44-yard line, and that's their favorite play. Power in the A gap, and they blew a big opening for Hill, 13 yards on that advance.
Another nice job by Van Manen. Kicking out, that's a good job by the offensive line. But 2nd and 5, everything's on the table. You can't pin your ears if you're a defense. You got to play smart. Gap responsibility, that's the position they need to get him in.
Hill again. And a minimal gain here, just a yard. Whenever you run the football in the middle, you're typically against UNLV going to run into 2 of their leading tacklers. Tao Lotulele, number 55, and Also 56, Ryan McAleenan. Two senior backers, two good ones.
Really good ones. Ryan is probably one of the smartest backers in this conference. Started his career out at San Jose State as a walk-on, when actually Coach Kent Bear was there.
He was under Coach McIntyre. Let's see you. Allen in trouble, vacates. And he's going to pick up a first down. Inside the 40 to the 37-yard line of UNLV. That's something else he could do. And when you see him physically on the sideline, you wouldn't think that he could do that. He's a big, big kid. Really
big kid. They're trying to run takeoff routes. So they run the hitch and goes on the outside, but pressure forces him out of the pocket. And this is how this kid can change a game.
Again, he ran for 66 yards on 9 carries last week. He's over 400 yards rushing this year. That 18-yard run is the longest run of the day for Wyoming. Play clock down to 1. And again, Allen is going to run. This time he got just a yard. It was Lotulelei. He'll have an opportunity to continue his career with that league that plays tomorrow. Come next year for Tal Lotulelei. Scouts like him.
Trying to bring pressure, bringing extra blitzers, and got a guy out there in Brinkley Jolly who's taking a place of a guy that's played a lot of football, Ryan Cummings, doing a nice job on the edge, 74.
Hill.
That's a great cut.
Lotulelei with his 8th tackle of the game.
He barely gets there on that one. That's a great cut. You see the vision from Brian Hill there.
This may be 4-down territory also.
Watch it cut. Good vision.
It's 3rd down set. A long 3, a short 4. And I would think if they did come up short, that Craig Bowl would go for it. We'll see. First things first. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Allen out of the gun. Zone read, he'll keep it. They won't need a 4th down. He has it here on 3rd down. Inside the 20 to the 19. Lotulelei again.
And they're stacked up so much to stop Brian Hill. Any flash fake, anything that goes in his stomach, and they're going to react to it. See the zone read. Look how wide Lotulelei is. That hole expands. Hawthorne overruns it. And listen, I talked about Josh Allen's ability as a runner. You see that quick explosion? Then he gets out into space. Good pickup.
Gentry wide to the near side. Allen signals to him that they give straight ahead to Hill. Hill inside the 5. He's going to get in. Touchdown, Wyoming. A terrific run by Brian Hill.
A terrific drive from the Cowboys to answer.
That was a championship caliber drive. You're right.
Gut check time.
Yep. 2nd time Hill's been in the end zone today.
And watch, he gets inside. He's patient, and then the bounce. Good stiff arm and the speed.
We saw that speed last week on tape against Utah State. He ran away from their secondary on his way to a 56-yard touchdown run. So he's physical, but at 220 pounds, he can separate from you also. 74-yard drive in 8 plays. Things tighten once again in Las Vegas. Wyoming needed what just occurred, a long touchdown drive. Brian Hill capped it off, and it's 37-31. Rebels leading the Cowboys. Rebels have lost the last 3 against Wyoming. It was 35-28 last year up in Laramie. It's the 23rd meeting all time between these 2 universities. And this is McTire. And a good short tackle about the 23-yard line. UNLV with a 6-point lead has it. We were mentioning all the ties to Nebraska. UNLV, Barney Cotton, who was at Nebraska for years, played at Nebraska. John Garrison, the O-line coach. Tony Samuel, who had a great career at Nebraska, longtime coach. Ben Cotton's a grad assistant, Wyoming. Craig Bowl, of course. Steve Stannard. Mike Grant, former quarterback for the Huskers. Tony Samuel, in fact, and Steve Stannard are best friends. And Tony Samuel's the godfather of Steve Stannard's oldest son, Austin. That's in and out of the hands of Devonte Boyd. There's Tony Samuel. And they all played for and coached under the legendary Tom Osborne.
Legendary is putting it light.
Yeah.
I mean, they always talk about these coaching trees where guys come from, and he's got one of the fullest coaching trees in the history of the game.
We asked Coach Stannard, he said, "Did you talk to your best friend, Tony, this week?" He said, "We didn't text too much this week." But
not this week.
Yeah, they'll resume next week. Here's a deep throw toward Boyd, and that's incomplete.
That's 2 misses. I squarely put on Kurt Palandech. The first one being an out route, you got to throw the ball with a little touch. He's got to get his head around and see it, but right here, he doesn't give his receiver a chance.
Pretty good coverage there by Antonio Hall.
Yeah, but the key here, Drew, is his back's turned. He never sees the ball. The defender doesn't. So put it where your guy can stop and make a play. That's how you get a pass interference or a big catch by your guy.
3rd and a full 10. 6 coming for Wyoming, and it is off the hands of Trevor Cantman. We haven't said this much. 3 and out for UNLV.
That was a big stop for the defense. Again, you want to work the middle of the field on the in route. It looked like Cantman could have kept working inside. He settles. Ball a little bit high.
It's an interesting series, too, because they've had so much success on the ground. And they went 3 straight shots in the air. And this is another one off the side of the foot of Evan Pantel's. Turn out okay with the roll. Wyoming trailing by 6 will have it at 37-31. That's Joe Lang, who's obviously out of pads. He's the long snapper for UNLV. Had his leg rolled up on late in that first half. So he is done. Wyoming down by 6, hands it to Brian Hill, trying to get wide, and Hill will get across the 35 to the 36 as we go downstairs again to Brad Thompson. Brad?
Guys, injury updates for the Rebels. Robert Jackson out with a broken wrist. Dominic Baldwin, a D lineman, number 97, is out with a left leg injury. You mentioned Lang there. He's out as well. And the big thing to keep an eye on, 2 drives ago, Devonte Boyd came off limping. They were stretching his left hamstring. He hit the bike a little bit. He didn't look right on that last possession.
All right, Brad, thank you. It's been a physical game. Allen, and that's too tall for Tanner Gentry. So it'll be 3rd down and 8. Torrey McTire was running with him.
It's a good job of coverage. Not a place where you want to throw it in there and take a risk of it getting knocked in the air.
You know, Allen came into this football game completing just under 60% of his throws. He's 6 of 15 today. And you can see when it's 3rd and 5 or more, they're 0 for 4. This is 3rd and 8. 5 coming for UNLV. It is nearly intercepted. McTire on the deflection had a chance at a pick. It was off the hands of Jacob Hollister. Right now, if you're Coach Bear, Kent Bear, the defensive coordinator, they just can't catch the football in the secondary. They have only 3 picks this year, haven't had one since September.
And that one right there was a gift. Soft. It wasn't a rocket shot off the hands.
This is a big boot. Makai Stevenson. Watch it hit. Roll inside the 10-yard line. Ethan Wood, who's a terrific punter, is on the Ray Guy watch list. Just hit one 56 yards. Liberty High School in Colorado Springs. 37-31, UNLV with the lead and the football. Let's answer today's CenturyLink High-Speed Challenge. We asked which team is going to win the Mountain West Mountain Division. 5-0 Wyoming, or the 2 4-1 teams, Boise State, New Mexico, and a lot of folks like the Cowboys. Why not? They've had a marvelous year, but again, they trail right now by 6 with 4:42 to go in the third quarter. Thank you for participating in our CenturyLink poll challenge. Charles Williams is the lone setback. And in the end zone, he got it away, complete for a 3-yard gain. Tim Holt made the catch. Logan Wilson nearly had the safety on Palandech. You're shaking your head. You can't believe they keep throwing it right now, huh?
I really can't. And especially right there, you could come out running naked.
Actually, let me correct that. That was DJ May who almost had the sack. Wilson made the tackle and pushed him out of bounds. They'll go on the ground and about 3 yards to the 15-yard line.
But I force this team to stop my power running game.
You'd set the tone through the second and third quarter with your running backs. The first quarter on the ground, it was more Palandech. 3rd and 4 for UNLV. Inside 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Big contingent of Cowboy fans here in Las Vegas. There's a trip fan circle, so you know what? I think we're going to go on that one. Palandech's throw is complete. Jericho Flowers, first down, out to the 36-yard line. What did the coaching staff tell us yesterday? That each week Flowers is picking up more and more of the offense. Again, it bears repeating. 3 weeks ago, he was a cornerback.
This is a good hands catch. Up the seam, he steps into a throw, and it's very accurate. But look at the hit. He takes the shot from Gafford. Makes the play.
Campbell back in the football game. And he'll get a couple of yards. Kind of tripped over number 30, Logan Wilson. Josiah Hall's also there, 53.
This team looks a little bit worn down on the defensive front. Talking about the Cowboys.
A lot of snaps.
A lot of snaps on the field.
Here comes Campbell again, and this is well defended. And when the big fellas can grab you early, it's hard to break those tackles. And that was Johanna Gaffon, who's a 290-pound redshirt freshman from Grand Island, Nebraska. If he gets his mitts on you, you're not going anywhere.
Swallowed him up. That's the old trick. You got to get those big guys before they get started.
Yeah. 3rd down and 6. Trips right. Devonte Boyd into the boundary to the near side. Wyoming brings 6, including a safety. It's caught. But it's going to be about a yard shy of the first down. It was Boyd on a slant. 4th down and about a yard to go.
I'm at this time of the game, I go for this. I bring 3 tight ends, I go big, and I slam it in there to a 220-pound back.
Pantels, though, is on the field. He's going to punt it back at his own 16, 17-yard line is Austin Conway. Looking at the play clock. Did it expire?
I think he's thinking about it.
We called timeout.
Timeout. UNLV. Their first of the half. 30 seconds.
Let me pose a question to you. You get in this portion of the field. I've always believed one of the things you can do there, because 5 yards is not a big deal if you take a delay of the game. Leave your offense out there in hard count. Even if you don't want to, if you're afraid to snap the football there, and I understand it. He's got a 6-point lead. His kids have played well, punt the football. Defense has had, you know, a solid game. Maybe you pin them back deep, but if you want to keep the drive going, go hard count, and then don't burn a timeout. Take the 5-yard penalty.
And punt it. Right. That's another way to look at it. Probably, and they could actually do that from this formation. However, these guys aren't used to doing that. As the offense comes back on, they might be doing just that, Drew.
Yeah, well, you know, once you call the timeout, you kind of figured that Coach Sanchez was going to put the offense back on the field.
And this is a statement play here.
And I don't know. It is really close. It depends on the spot. Where they marked it, I think he's going to have enough, barely. Appleby and Waka combined to make the tackle. I mean, it is, look at the nose of the football on the line to get. Tony studying it. There's our man Chase Appleby. He's had a terrific senior year. He defeated his block, tried to rip the football out, and then he got help from Waka.
That's a really good tackle.
By a football, first down UNLV. So they go for it on 4th down. And for the 6th time in 12 opportunities this year, they were successful.
A really good play inside by the linebackers from Wyoming. They just don't get there. Chase Appleby comes off of his block, but they just don't get there in time. Forward progress.
And Chase Appleby was running off the field. I think he thought they got it done.
Gonna challenge the spot here.
That's exactly what's transpiring right now. Marvell July will communicate upstairs. We'll see if that was an accurate spot. This will give us a good look. You know, from that look,
he never gets to that line. He never gets to the 46. Doesn't look like he gets to the 46 from there, but still, it's a football length.
Yeah, it's so hard to determine with all the bodies there. Without question, he eclipses the 45-yard line somewhat significantly. You know, there he is. You know, I think it's a pretty good spot.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. First down, UNLV.
And I think that's the right call.
Yeah, that overhead look gave us the best shot. We got best camera guys in the business doing a great job giving us really good looks.
So 1st and 10 for UNLV. They have a 6-point lead. David Green remains in the backfield. He had the carry to pick up that yard a moment ago. Holt goes in motion. And Boyd has the football. And he picks up 9. So he may be playing with a bad hammy, but he's having another big day. He's over 100 yards receiving today. He was over 100 last week in their loss to Utah State, actually 2 weeks ago. Against San Jose State, I should say.
Again, you're up in press coverage and you get no hand on the receiver. You don't even try to stab him and get a hand on him. You allow him free release. That's almost like playing off. You're in no man's land if you don't use your hands early.
Antonio Hull to the near side has Boyd. They're going to run the football, and another large gain to the 30-yard line. Hull bounced out. Green, and Boyd is down right now. Boyd, who just eclipsed the 100-yard mark, as you saw, for the 11th time in his career.
It's caught up in the wash as Hull comes down to make the tackle.
37-31, 20 seconds with the clock moving left in the third quarter. UNLV from the +30. They keep it on the ground, a couple of yards. Let's try to figure out what happened to Boyd. Continue to work on him. That'll be the final play, that 2-yard carry by Campbell in the third quarter. Pizza. UNLV has run the football very well, and they continue to begin the fourth quarter. And they've also surprisingly passed the ball well. 448 yards in total offense, and Wyoming's had their moments, but they haven't had the football all that much. See, 28+ minutes of possession time for UNLV. Third down and a long 3 from the Wyoming 23. Drew Goodman said Bonner, Brad Thompson from Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. And they'll have the first down. They give to the big back, Xavier Campbell. With the injury to Lexington Thomas, it hasn't been Charles Williams so much, the kid who ran for 141 in the last game for UNLV. It's been David Green, and it's been Xavier Campbell, who has a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown in the game.
I feel like Xavier Campbell came in and changed the dynamic of the game just with his physical running. David Green followed suit.
This is play number 13 of this drive. Here comes the quicker of the backs. Williams keeps his feet to the 1-yard line. First and goal, UNLV.
Some of the stunts and stems that the Wyoming Cowboys are utilizing up front are getting them in trouble. Watch the movement, create a gap inside.
Boy, they're getting good second-level blocks too, aren't they?
And I have not seen my man Andrew Wingard miss this many tackles in the hole. He has him right there at the line of scrimmage, doesn't run his body through the tackle.
David Green gets the call. David Green bulls his way into the end zone. Touchdown Rebels. 43-31 pending the extra point.
Talking about a defense that has given up just 138 yards rushing a game. They're being gashed today. Running back by committee. Williams, Green, and Campbell have just feasted on this defense.
UNLV, a 14-play, 91-yard drive. Pantels adds the extra point. 44-31. Second touchdown for today's drive of the game, brought to you by the Wyoming Department of Transportation, was a 91-yard UNLV drive that spanned 14 plays and took almost 6.5 minutes. 13-18 left in the fourth quarter, and UNLV is ahead of heavily favored Wyoming. 7-2 Wyoming, 5-0 in conference play. And this is going to go out of bounds, so Wyoming's going to get excellent field position. And that kick was by Nicolai
Kick out of bounds.
Bornand.
Kicking team, number
Not
40.
Evan
The ball will be
Pantels.
placed
We
at
had
the
a shot at
35-yard line.
Pantels during the
First
commercial
down.
break. He was cramping up on the sideline, so he didn't kick off. It was the backup, the senior Bornand, and he kicked it out of bounds. The ball will come out to the 35-yard line.
Not to be too hard on the kickers, Drew, but you got to be ready. If you're the backup kicker and your guy comes off, you got to get yourself ready to kick off. All you got to do is hit the ball in bounds. Keep the ball in bounds. That's why those lines are out there. Keep it in bounds.
They're working on Pantels on the sideline. Well, now every possession for Wyoming becomes supremely important to get points out of it, down by 13. They start with a carry to Hill. Look at that. Great move by Brian Hill. Flip side of the 50, out of bounds at the 45. Run out by Kenny Keys.
Tell you what, Mouton's not going to want to see this, Darius Mouton on film day, because he stops and starts on him. Mouton has him right in his sights right here. Watch this. And then he stops and it goes back outside. Mouton almost falls down. I mean, look at the quick feet and start.
That's why he's such a special back, because he's a power back that can run past and through a secondary. Allen wants a deep shot. He's got a man out there. Touchdown. Guess who? Tanner Gentry. And just like that, Wyoming has scored. He beat Darius Mouton.
He waited for Tanner too. Knew he was going to take a big shot. Hughes lays into him just after the throw. But right there, he's fighting through. That's pass interference, but he keeps going. He hangs it up, and that's a good throw.
Talk about double moves. That was a triple move.
It was.
Post. That was the old corner post corner. Extra point is good. 44-38. Allen throws a pretty ball, doesn't he? Still 12:40 to go in the fourth. No small plays for Gentry today. The heck with quick outs, hitches.
You want to know what his average is?
A lot.
47 yards a catch. He's got 3 catches for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, it was 48 yards a catch prior to that last one, so he's probably not pleased with it. That was just 45. Cooper Roth into the football. And Corey McTire has it from his own 4. And tackled just shy of the 20-yard line.
Jalen Watson.
Good play by Watson down on special teams. He's from Broken Bow, Oklahoma, redshirt freshman. Well, good news for UNLV. Their top receiver, who's had a big game, Devonte Boyd, who was banged up in the last series, is back out there. 12:34 to go in the fourth quarter, 44-38 UNLV. Wyoming has had all kinds of issues trying to stop this Rebel offense today. And it's been balanced. Over 200 on the ground and in the air. Williams again making people miss, and he could not make Epps miss there. Good tackle. And that'll be a loss of 1.
That's a good job. And here's the thing young guys got to know. You're in the fourth quarter. You got to lead. You're trying to finish the game. Get upfield. Don't keep reversing field. You're going to lose more yards. You look at this UNLV backfield. They had 4 players over 50 yards rushing today.
Here's a quarterback draw. And tackled from behind, but a pickup of 6 or 7.
It's a really good job of swiping at the ball there by Logan Wilson.
So where they'll mark it as a pickup of 5. So it's 3rd down and 6. Just a big play. Kurt Palandech, the whole ball game today, came off the bench 2 weeks ago to spell Dalton Sneed when Sneed was struggling throwing it. Wyoming brings 7. Casino blitz, deep shot, and incomplete. They were trying to get it to Jericho Flowers.
You know, had that ball been thrown a little bit more at the receiver, there could have been a possibility for a flag, but it was so far inside, he had to get back around through the defender to get to it.
He had a linebacker who runs really well now. He's not a normal linebacker, DJ May, out there in coverage. Wyoming sold out on the blitz. And that's exactly what you described. Ball was probably not catchable. This is Bornand to punt. And this is returnable for Conway. Here's Austin Conway. Look out.
Uh-oh.
He is going to take it the distance.
Overland, stand up.
Wyoming. What a return. How big's that injury now to Pantels? That's a 60-yard return because Pantels is the old two-way guy, kicker and punter. And that was a line drive punt. They had kept it away from Austin Conway throughout the day, not this time.
And watch the patience. He sets up the first man right here and attacks upfield. And look at the lane inside. Good job blocking up in front. Nico Evans doing a nice job. This is a great return. Exactly what the Cowboys needed.
And with that extra point, they take the lead 45-44. Amazing. Austin Conway, a very interesting story. He was such a great high school football and basketball player. He had a multitude of offers to play both. Nebraska recruited him to play football. The Indiana Hoosiers recruited him to play basketball. He signed with Wyoming to play high school or college basketball, and after his freshman year, he said, I still have this itch to play football. Here's some of his highlights from Overland High School down in Aurora, Colorado, and he had ridiculous numbers, 4,700 plus passing, over 3,000 rushing. And the only thing that Craig Bohl asked him, he said, listen, if you're going to do this, you have to be sure that this is really what you want to do, because it's a huge commitment and you got to be all in. And he had the blessing of the basketball staff because they understood, and now he's a heck of a freshman football player.
And getting better week in and week out. You know, I love that stat pack, Justin, but you didn't have to make it against Mullen. All those highlights were against Mullen when he killed us his sophomore year in the playoffs.
Mullen High School down in the Denver area. Place you coach at. 25-yard line is where UNLV now will look to respond. They have to be shocked a little bit by this. They have been in control of this game for a good portion of the afternoon. They were up 13 points what seemed like 5 minutes ago. And literally it probably was only 5 minutes ago, and now they trail.
Well, I think early down success has been key for them. They've got to go back to the power running game and the short, quick passing attack. When you get man-to-man coverage on the edge, which you have here and up top, you got to take advantage of it.
Pantels, it's an RPO up the middle. He can go. No one's going to catch him. 75 yards. Touchdown. Unbelievable. A quarterback with wide-out speed.
I'll tell you what, it's just really good job of being patient. Watch him ride this thing and let everything, and then he comes up and wants to throw. Andrew Wingert sees him look outside and vacates the hole, and then it's over from there. He knows he's got the middle lane wide open, but watch what he does to Andrew Wingert in the center of the field, who is his shadow, and I think they're going to go for two here.
Well, and this has nothing to do with the kicking situation. This has everything to do with fourth quarter and scoreboard, in that it's a 5-point game. You go for two, and now you're up 7. That's the thinking of Tony Sanchez, I'm sure. So Palandech, I don't know if he has his breath yet. He's got David Green. Offset to his right. Gonna roll that way. He's got a man. 2-point conversion is good.
That's
and
too easy.
It's a 7-point lead.
That is far too easy, Drew.
That is Elijah Trosclair with just his 2nd catch of the year.
Just a quick out. A simple quick out. Marcus Epps is a little bit too deep, but watch, Andrew Wingert was stepped down in the box. Right here, he's responsible for the QB, but Palandech looks outside and he takes it and goes. Once he looks out, Wingert jumps outside, leaves that middle of the field, and it's over.
I don't know how you ran,
Not like that.
But nobody was closing on him.
Not like that. But did you see? It looked like his legs started getting, like he started unfolding his legs, getting longer, and the stride got bigger. Big time run. You got to challenge more on that 2-point conversion, though. You're letting the guy run a quick out in the end zone, and you're 3 yards deep. You got to be tighter there.
I posed a question a moment ago. How would UNLV respond all of a sudden, having their 13-point lead turn into a 1-point deficit? Well, they responded on the first play. They went 75 yards. One snap. Bornand, this one he gets to the 5-yard line. Here's May. May's got the edge. He hurdles a man to the 35-yard line. This is crazy.
He hurdles and keeps running in the air.
And the guy who kicked it made the tackle, Bornand.
This is a great effort. Watch his legs keep going as he jumps here. Stays right in stride, hits the ground moving.
I'm telling you, man, this kid's a linebacker.
Wow.
Former running back, now plays linebacker, and is one of the top kick returners in the country. All right, here we go. 10:27 left. Yeah, exactly. 52-45 UNLV, and a short field for Wyoming. Brian Hill gets nothing. Brian McAleenan made the first hit. He led UNLV in tackles last year. DJ May, oh, by the way, has 203 yards in kick returns this afternoon. What's it going to take? 60-something?
I think 63 is going to be the number. At the rate these special teams are going.
Fake to Conway. Double pump, and almost an ill-advised pass by Allen. McAleenan.
I don't know why he comes off the wheel here. He's got Jacob Hollister running a wheel against a defensive end. And there's no way the safety gets out there. He comes off the wheel. He trusts it. Throw it to the spot.
3rd down and 9.
Last time we saw this formation, we saw the post in the corner combo.
Got a drag underneath, and that was intercepted. That was picked off by Torrey McTire. Just the 4th interception all year for UNLV.
Jake Moldhart's over there looking for the call. You got to snap your head, and if you fight through the play, you might get the call. But as a quarterback, you're throwing the out on time, and you see there was contact at the top of the break, and the ball's thrown that direction. You've got to throw the flag there. There's contact at the top of the break, but Moldhart doesn't come out and finish the play. If he fights through, he might draw that flag. He doesn't fight through it. In any case, a great catch.
And McTire's their top cover corner, and Torrey's dad, Tim, that name sounds familiar. He played in the NFL. Williams with a minimal gain. Chase Appleby was part of the white shirts that stopped him.
Some of these fronts, Wyoming is using Andrew Wingard to stay home in the box. He steps down, and he is a shadow on the quarterback.
David Green back in the backfield. Palandech, and a flag comes in the area of holding. It's thrown by the referee.
Holding. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
That is Nathan Jacobson, the right tackle.
Here, See the good power move. And right there, the pull down.
That was on Josiah Hall. Pulled him down.
He was in good position. He just needed to keep moving his feet. But that burst into him got him in trouble. That power move.
2nd and 20. It's a QB draw. And Wyoming reacts nicely at the 20-yard line. Waka and Wilson at 7 or 8, but it sets up a 3rd and long, 3rd and about 12. They need the 33-yard line. Palandech looking to the sideline. There are 3 quarterbacks who signal in the play. Obviously, only one is live. Trips left. Palandech whispers the route, I'm sure, to Trosclair, who goes right. Wyoming brings 4, drops 7. And a throw to Trosclair at his feet. Incomplete.
That's great coverage. Everyone stayed in their zone. Forced him to stay in the pocket and be accurate.
Again, we have not seen Pantel since he cramped up. It's Nicolai Bornand. He's taken over both the punting and kicking chores. And the last time he punted, it was a low punt. And he was taken to the house by Austin Conway.
Because you look at Wyoming, they've got a lot of men up at the line of scrimmage. You might think they're coming. Trying to just get it out of there. That's a good punt.
Yeah, it's a great punt. He turned it over. Drives it back to the 25. Here's Conway. Trying to get to the wall. He will not. Great coverage. And we also have a flag down. That was a 52-yard punt. And the rebel downfield was Dalton Baker.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 31. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick, 1st down.
So we'll step aside, 7:55 to go. 52-45 UNLV, what a game. Corey McTire. And after all that, it's a touchdown separation, 52-45, 7:55 left. Wyoming trailing as they start with the football backed up at their own 16-yard line. And not much there for Brian Hill as Tau Lotulelei makes yet another tackle.
Lotulelei does a great job of beating Caden Jackson. Watch, Caden Jackson's there. That's your guy. You got to seal him. He beats him to it. Caden Jackson a little too wide.
Lotulelei is a big man, got small. Here to make that tackle. 2nd down and 10. Looking for a backside throw, and now Gentry can't catch up with that, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
He had a lot of room on the far side to throw the ball down. Anytime, and I talk about this all the time, anytime you're throwing the ball down the field, the flatter the throw, the more perfect the throw has to be.
Here's the other thing, and you can relate to this because you had a big arm as a quarterback. He can roll either way, and you have to defend the boundary side of the field because he can make every throw, and some you don't think a quarterback can make.
Or should make. Across the field, 40 yards downfield. Yes, absolutely.
3rd and 10. UNLV plays coverage. Allen in trouble. Somehow escapes and's got a man for a 1st down to the 37-yard line. It's the tight end, Jacob Hollister, who 2 weeks ago was the Offensive Player of the Week in the Mountain West Conference. A big ball game against Boise State.
Tim Huff gets him down, but
this is all about Allen.
Absolutely, keeping the play alive. You've got 2 guys that have him, that run a nice twist there. He almost steps into trouble, but good job of continuing to play with that offensive line, and then he bounces out and finds his big tight end. And Valaga misses. I mean, he gets outside and it's over from there.
Give it to Hill. And he ran into Nick Dadashtian, 2 or 3. Also Mike Hughes involved. Boy, that was I'm gonna give him 5 yards on that. That was a subtle 4 or 5 yard carry, huh?
It was, where you don't think he got many, but he's able to fall forward and move people.
And the ball pops up in the air. Allen jumps on it. But he's going to lose about 9 yards.
I have to go back to think about this, our meeting. We're talking to Coach Vegan. We talk about Chase, and they haven't had 1 snap on the ground.
All year.
All year.
Chase Roulier has been terrific at center. He hasn't had a bad snap and shotgun. And they misconnected, and of course he was under center there. Now it's 3rd down. They're going to call it 13. They need almost midfield, just beyond their own 49. Blitz coming. And the ball is thrown out of anybody's ability to get to the ball. And Wyoming's going to punt with 5:27 left.
Maloata brought pressure, but the pressure got there so early. But watch here, it's taken too long for that route to develop. There's a little bit of holding going on, but he doesn't go there, so you're not going to get that call.
Because of the pressure, he couldn't step up.
Another good punt.
Yeah, another great punt. Stevenson retreats, fair catch at about his own 15-yard line. So UNLV has the football and the lead with 5:19 to play, 52-45. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedules brought to you by Quicken Loans. UNLV, a tough trio of games to finish. The one they're involved in, then they'll be on the road at 24th ranked Boise State, and then the Cannon game against their arch rivals, University of Nevada in Reno. And for Wyoming, they have a huge game in Laramie next week against San Diego State. And then they're on the road in Albuquerque. So both teams with difficult finishing schedules. Williams in the football game. And Palandech hands to Williams. And he gets about 3 yards out to the 18. Connor Kane involved defensively from Heritage High School down in the Littleton area. There's 87 Connor Kane. Been real consistent this year for Wyoming. Clock now starting to become a factor. 7-point advantage for UNLV. Trying to pull what would be a major upset.
Absolutely, but this team has been in a ton of games. It's just trying to find the way to finish.
Williams, nothing doing. Connor Kane was there again. So it'll be 3rd and 5. I always find this is a tough area to coach and be a play caller. You have the lead. Do you get too conservative because you want to milk the clock, but you also realize you probably can't milk the whole clock? How much do you take your foot off the gas? You don't want to make a mistake. You started this drive at your own 15-yard line. That's so many factors.
Well, the biggest factor is, do you have a guy that you trust back there to do something that maybe another team wouldn't do? Do you have a Deshaun Jackson type guy back there that you trust to go and get this first down by throwing it? That's where it all boils down to. If you trust your playmaker to go out and make plays for you, Deshaun Watson, Clemson quarterback. That's the difference. If you have that guy and you trust him to go make plays in these situations, you put the ball in his hands.
3rd and 5. And they'll keep it on the ground. Green explodes through an opening. 1st down, UNLV.
Or you get behind your bigs and you pound.
That's what they have done all afternoon. It's been Green, it's been Campbell.
Arm tackle. By the time he gets up on Wingard, it's too late. He's 6 yards deep as a safety. He's got to stay back there. But I think we've seen more missed tackles today from these Cowboys than we've seen in a long time. This has been a sure tackling team.
Three and a half to go as Green gets a yard. Wingard came up, tripped him up. Now if you're Craig Bowl, who has a full slate of timeouts, you start trying to calculate when you're going to use them. It is almost imperative. And he's going to have to use some. You would think after this down, or use one after this down, you have to get a stop here.
Yeah,
you cannot. The one first down wasn't good, but from Wyoming's perspective, you can't allow another
first down because then you're going to run yourself out of timeouts trying to stop them.
Here's Campbell, and he gets 7 or 8. And it's a 3rd down and short. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Tell you, this defense has been on the field. The first half, they were on the field a ton. Time of possession was 20 minutes to 9 minutes. Right now, this offensive line looks like they're gaining some momentum. The Cowboys need to figure out a way to get a stop here up front.
Said 83 snaps for UNLV, just 50 for Wyoming. To your point, so a whole lot of snaps for those defenders. And this is now the biggest play of the game. UNLV waited till the clock was down to 1. Tony Sanchez done a marvelous job utilizing his timeouts, utilizing clock. We saw it late in the first half. He calls a timeout here, 2:06 left. And the biggest play of the game, they're calling it 3rd and 3 on the scoreboard. It's a 3rd, short 2, long, or excuse me, short 3, long 2. But Wyoming has got to get a stop. Now, do you give Palandech a two-way go here?
I do, absolutely. You give, pull it at the last second. Somebody still has to tackle him in a lane. If they can get any kind of movement, you still have to tackle that guy, which has proved difficult at best today when he's pulled the ball and run it.
Almost 600 yards of offense for UNLV. See what they run here. 3rd down. And almost 3 to go. Campbell, not surprisingly, is the running back. They go to Campbell, and he'll have the first down. Made a man miss in the hole, and he got 4. They move the chains again for UNLV. Clock inside 2 minutes and running, and now Wyoming's going to have to start to burn timeouts, and they're going to have to start tackling the football also.
Which tends to lead to big plays when you're trying to strip and not get guys down. Good effort, great vision right there. Cuts behind his blocker.
This game, you know, there were turnovers a little bit early. There have been a multitude of big plays, but the bottom line, the reason UNLV is winning, Wyoming has not been able to stop the Rebels. Even on that play, that's 5 or 6. You know what's coming. And the timeout with 1:24 left.
You're talking about being doubled up with the plays. Darn near double up. Wyoming takes a timeout here, but you've been doubled up in plays. That defense has been out there for a long time. They're already undersized as it is up front. Played a ton of plays. Needless to say, these two teams, you know, a year and a half ago, these two teams were, I don't want to call them laughing stocks, but you want to talk about having to start over and build. You counted these two teams as wins when they came into your building. And now you have to go out and take the win. They're not just going to give it to you. These two programs, these two coaches have done a fantastic job.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize something that we chatted about a little earlier. In no way, shape, or form did Craig Bowles, Steve Stannard, and his staff overlook UNLV. They knew that this was going to be a heck of a competitive game. This was not, we're looking ahead to San Diego State. Green tackled after a yard or two. Timeout, 1:20 left, and it's another third down.
You've got to also be careful here if you're Wyoming. You're selling out to the run so much. Whoever's responsible for Palandech cannot get nosy. You cannot get nosy, because if he gets out and gets those legs going, it's ball game.
You still have a shot if you get a stop here if you're Wyoming. The whole game comes down to this snap, or the whole opportunity to have a chance comes down to this snap. We were talking, we had Colorado State recently, and we were talking to their head coach, Mike Bobo, who's spent so much time at Georgia, first as a player, longtime offensive coordinator. We said, from your perspective, the biggest difference defensively, and he said it's not the ones when he's comparing it to the SEC. He said it's the amount of depth, and to the point you were making earlier, you got a lot of guys up front, the big kids getting a lot of snaps because there aren't as many guys behind them. Here we go. 3rd and 4, and Wyoming gets the stop. Campbell to the 46-yard line. 3rd and final timeout used by Wyoming with 1:15 to play.
Go power. He's not able to get there. Epps finishes him off. Good job up front. Josiah Hall. You know, you got to give it to those kids on effort.
Let me flip the special teams now. Unless Pantel's miraculously runs back on the field, you have the backup punter, Nicolai Bornand. You have Austin Conway deep. Conway already took one 60 yards for a touchdown. Do you go after him if you're Wyoming and go punt block? The other aspect of this is the snapper, Joe Lang, he's not snapping. So you have a backup snapper, and you have the backup punter.
I don't know if I go out. I try to set the return and force the backup punter to hit it right. I set the return.
That's what they've done.
And he hit it right.
A rocket. And it backs up to the 2-yard line. Unbelievable. Nicolai Bornand, 51 yards, and he spun it back. Wow. Boyce covered it.
I mean, you can't do anything with that if you're Conway. You're not supposed to be in there. So that's just, I mean, that's a great play.
You said
I just needed a couple to warm it up. That's
yeah,
all.
you know, his first one wasn't great. His first kickoff went out of bounds. He had one returned for a touchdown, but he just came up huge. So for Wyoming, all they have to navigate is 97.5 yards in 106, down by 7.
They've had an abundance of big plays today. If you're UNLV, if you're the Rebels, you've got to stay back and not allow that to happen. Force this team to be patient.
And Allen throws incomplete. Good news about that play is it took a couple of seconds. 1:01 to play.
They're rushing just 2 and dropping 9 guys. And you still get pressure. You got to do a better job up front.
No timeouts for Wyoming. 2nd and 10, 1:01 to play. 7-point differential. And again, Allen's got to step up, and he just throws this one away.
But why not run that? Go get yards. You've got space. You broke out of a tackle. Go run it. Give yourself some room away from the back, from the end zone.
His mindset may be, I'm just speculating obviously, that if I run, you got to spike it because you can't stop the clock unless somehow he gets it out of bounds.
It's a penalty.
Intentional grounding.
They called
offense, number 17.
They called it late.
Lost it down at the spot of the foul.
Was he in
Third
the
down.
end zone? No.
But that's my point. You're not throwing anywhere. Just run the football for 8-10 yards. Use a spike if you have to, but run it. I mean, you rarely see this call when the ball goes downfield that far.
I was just going to say that.
You rarely see that call because
you can
you
say
don't
there was
know.
a broken route.
Right. Somebody broke off the wrong way. You don't know. So that's a call that you never see. It's rare. However, it was made.
It doesn't impact Wyoming that much because you're talking about the penalty from a yardage standpoint is about a yard.
Yes, but you're still messing around in your end zone.
Yep.
They won a game in the end zone with a safety.
The intentional grounding happened under 1 minute with the clock running. Therefore, there's a 10-second runoff. Please set the game clock to 44 seconds. Thank you.
That makes it pretty costly.
I mean, that's furthermore, just understand the situation and just go get some yards. Plus, you get yourself out of the shadow of your own end zone where you know these 4 guys right here on this play are going to bring everything they got to get back there. The DBs are deep. They're in quarters right now. They're going to be deep. There's going to be an all-out rush from these guys trying to finish the game up front.
And they get it toward the boundary, and stepping out of bounds with a first down is C.J. Johnson.
Good call. You had 2 verticals.
Took 10
CJ
seconds.
runs the out. Very good call by Coach Vegan. Well designed. See the vertical and the out. And he's able to pick up the first down, which is important, and stop the clock.
Allen just 9 of 24, 240 yards. The yardage is fine. The completion percentage not what you expect from Josh Allen. He's got a man, Gentry, to the 40. Now you got to hustle up and get the ball spiked.
That's a big time throw and catch.
Actually, in college, not like the NFL, you don't have to spike it. He does. And the reason I say that is they stop the clock to reset the chains.
But you still keep them from running any clock. You're going to see him come from outside in on the dig route. Look at that throw.
A laser on the move.
On the move, inside.
If you're Wyoming,
I mean,
what you hope to get here is another 20, so you get a couple of shots, legitimate shots at the end zone. And that's incomplete. 20 seconds left. And remember, it's now 3rd down. Downs typically aren't important this time of the game, but with the spike, it becomes an issue.
Steps up into it.
Definitely was releasing it.
Yeah. I maybe try to run the storm route they ran to pick up the first down a little bit ago. Get you out with your go.
Get you out around midfield. Allen, that's caught!
No way.
At the 34 and a flag.
It can't be pass interference because the ball was tipped.
Malhart somehow caught it after the tip, and you're right. Once it's tipped.
Yeah, can't be pass interference after the tip.
Mouton got a hand on it.
There's no foul for pass interference. The pass was tipped. Results of the play is a first down, Wyoming.
Now what you have is 13 seconds left, and you're at the 34. You have a couple of legitimate shots.
Nope. I would call a play here. I'm not going to waste his time.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean,
I'm going to call a play. You had all that time to get something developed and going. That's 1 second, and it's a play, another play. And look at him hang in there. Throws a laser. It's tipped there.
I mean, there have been a bevy of remarkable plays in this game. 2 right, 1 left. Mark, a lot of contact and a flag for interference. They were trying to get it to Mulhart, who's 6'6". McTyers called for interference. Now, this is not the NFL.
Right.
It's not a spot foul.
But it's
a 15-yard foul. And they'll have probably
pass interference, defense number 4, 15-yard penalty, and automatic first down.
6 seconds is probably from this distance 1 shot. Going back to what you mentioned a moment ago, if it's 7, I mean, it was 1 second, but maybe you get 2 shots.
Maybe. And also the loss, the runoff, the 10-second runoff for the, intentional grounding.
Which was questionable.
Very questionable.
So here we go. Maybe the last snap. I don't understand that.
It's an incomplete pass. You didn't need to do that. The pass was incomplete.
Why would you do that?
There was an incomplete pass, so the clock wasn't going to run.
Well, now you eliminate probably any chance of getting a second snap here. I mean, if you got one off and it was a...
I'm not sure. Maybe I'm mistaken with the penalty, but it was an incomplete pass.
Right. It's going to be the final snap. In all likelihood, they need a touchdown from the 19-yard line. Got a man.
No way.
Touchdown. Gentry, are they giving it to him, or did he go out of bounds first?
He was forced out of bounds.
If he's forced out, he can come back in. If not, then he cannot come back in and would be ball game over.
If he's forced out, then that's, oh my God, the catch though.
Well, he's made this all day. There's contact.
Results of the play, the receiver got bumped out of bounds, reestablished himself. The results of the play is a touchdown.
Wow. With no time left. This has been one of the most extraordinary games I have seen in
this guy right here.
Years.
That guy.
Cooper Ross.
This guy right here, number 4, has made some of the most spectacular catches we've seen.
Unbelievable. And Allen.
He had both feet in easily.
Well, he just needs one. They said he reestablished himself, and there's the 1 foot. That's good.
So the question they're having is watch his hand, but there's the left toe, but then the hand comes down, and the hand comes down in bounds. That's a catch.
It's a great catch.
And how many times do we have to see this guy rolling to his right, giving his guy a chance? Both feet were down before the ball.
And I think it was the right call because Mouton made contact with him.
Unbelievable.
And you know what? Let's give Marvell July a lot of credit because their crew got it right. Wow.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown has been confirmed.
Wow. So Cooper Roth will attempt to add the extra point to send this game to overtime. Oh, and we forgot to remark, that was a 98-yard drive in a minute.
If we go back to that catch by Mulhart, the ball hit the ground. They never got a chance to look at it. They were able to get up, and that might be maybe why they spiked the ball, so they couldn't get enough time to get a second look at it.
(52-52), and we play on.
Why wouldn't we?
A phenomenally entertaining game in Las Vegas, and nothing's decided yet. It has been an amazing game, and 60 minutes, not enough time evidently to decide this. 52-52, we're in overtime. UNLV just won the toss, and in overtime, as you know in college football, each team gets to the 25-yard line. If you win the toss, you go on defense. And that's what UNLV is elected to do. So Wyoming will have it initially. I want to go back to a play that took place during that unbelievable 98-yard drive in the final seconds of this game. Jake Mulhart on the deflection. Watch this. I'm not sure he caught it. It was coming out. You can't see right at the very end of it. Did he get a hand beneath?
Right.
Here's another angle of it.
You see it hits the ground right there.
Yeah. And that may be why they snapped it so quickly to spike it.
Play to spike it, so there wouldn't be any review from UNLV.
So here we go in overtime. They go to Hill. He steps out of a tackle, and he gets a yard.
That's a great job rallying to the football from the Rebels. And
that was Iggy Porcher, who will get credit for the tackle. 26, senior linebacker from Venice High School in Los Angeles. Josh Allen's something else. It hasn't been a day of high percentage day throwing the football, but he's a playmaker. He's going to keep here, stiff arms a guy, and he's going to end up with a first down. He stiff-armed Iggy Porcher, and guess what? He's bigger than Iggy, and Iggy's a D-end.
I'll tell you, that's a great job of running with power behind the pads. But you see they pull Gavin Rush around the edge.
Big Gavin's a true freshman from Phillips, Nebraska, 300-pound guard. Brian Hill, and Hill into the end zone. Touchdown, Wyoming, from 15 yards away. Third touchdown of the day for Brian Hill, whose day started slowly, but he's now at 117 yards on the ground, and again, 3 scores.
I mean, this is just down kick. You see big Gavin Rush again on the pull. Tanner Gentry blocking outside.
Drew Van Manen had a great block.
What? I mean, that guy gets no carries, no passes. All he does is lead block for one of the best backs in the country. I guarantee you, B. Hill knows who the guy is.
Van Manen out of Parker, Colorado, had a great cut block, number 36. So Wyoming, they scored touchdown, 59-52, and now UNLV will have to match. This is the second overtime game as you watch Brian Hill for each school. UNLV lost to Idaho earlier this year, and Wyoming in 3 overtimes beat Northern Illinois in September.
That was a game that didn't end until 2 o'clock in the morning because of a couple of lightning delays up in Laramie.
Xavier Campbell, and he is met immediately. Leading the way, Logan Wilson, who's had a big day, and Chase Appleby, who's had another big day.
Right now, if you're Coach Sanchez, you've got to tell your guys, we cannot give in. Cannot give in to this right now. They played so hard and so well, you can't give in.
We have 596 yards of offense today. They need another 25. Williams will put him over 600, but a flag comes in. It's thrown by a linesman.
It's been a good crew today. They've done a nice job of getting together and getting it right.
Done a really good job. They didn't have to throw a flag though till, remember that, early third quarter. No flags in a well-played first half. About the GAs that have to cut up this tape later on.
There's no foul on the play. Third down.
Could have been a little more specific. There's no foul on the play for, which possibly not enough men on the line of scrimmage. They did have 3 backs in the backfield.
3rd and 7. Jericho Flowers has come in. Third wide out. Boyd to the near side. Pressure coming, end zone shot, caught, touchdown! Great throw, it was Flowers. He beat Rico Gafford, and UNLV an extra point from tying it and extending overtime.
That's a great throw. Hung it up, allowed his guy to go and get it versus the man coverage. And that's good coverage by Gafford, but a better thrown ball and a good job of finishing the play by the receiver. You know you're going to get man-to-man coverage. As soon as you sent your motion man across the formation and they followed him across, you knew you had man. Well designed and good job of staying with the plan by Palandech.
Nicolai Bornand, the backup kicker. Good snap, good hold, and a perfect kick. 59-59. Let's play a second overtime.
Look at the backside, an inside release on Gafford, who got nothing on him. No hands, allowed him free release inside. Tell you what, he's unbelievable with coverage. If he starts using his hands a little better, it makes it tougher for those guys to get off the ball. Sometimes those guys with a ton of speed rely on their speed a little bit too much. Technique goes by the wayside.
How about this kid, Kurt Palandech? Came in off the bench 2 weeks ago in their last game against San Jose State. He's given the start today. He's 18 of 30, 231 yards, a couple touchdowns. Not known as much for his ability to throw. On the ground, 14 carries, 154 yards and a touchdown. He's led UNLV to 621 yards in total offense. And so far, you know what he's got? He's got a push.
Well, if he wins the game, guess who's probably the player of the week? I mean, with those kind of numbers and an upset win, it's been a great performance. He's made all the right decisions. Even when he had to throw the ball away early in the game, we showed some maturity. It's been a really well-played game for Palandech.
So they'll flip to the other side of the field, and UNLV will go right back on offense. That's the other element of overtime. If you win the toss, you have whatever you decide, you get the opposite if it goes to a second overtime. So now Wyoming has the ability to, if they get a stop, know what they need. If they hold them to 3, it's the luxury of having last licks, if you will, to steal a baseball term. David Green has come in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 25, second overtime, tied at 59. Palandech on a crossing route. 1st down to the 7-yard line. It's Devonte Boyd, who's battled through a couple of injuries today.
He's carrying his left, watch the way he's carrying his left arm. He's not even swinging it, but he's out there battling.
Haven't said his name as much lately, but he made a huge catch there. It's 1st and goal. Green We'll get to the 5. I don't know how many ice tubs are in the facility here at Sam Boyd on the home and visitor side, but there's going to be a long line.
Well, if you're a team that has to travel back home, I mean, that's worse. You're not getting it. You're trying to get out of here.
2nd and goal. Campbell back in. And here's Palandech, and he took a big wallop in the open field from Antonio Hull. He's trying to slip past Hull. That's a very short tackle by the sophomore from Diamond Bar, California. This is a great tackle.
Great job staying home and playing your responsibility. Really good job from Gafford. Or excuse me, Antonio Holt.
3rd and goal. Boyd widest to the bottom of your screen. He's going to roll that way. He's got a touchdown. And he goes to his tight end, Andrew Price. Touchdown, UNLV.
This is all Tim Kamina, who gets caught looking inside on the tight end release. Watch right here. Tight end goes down and pops back out. That's a good route. Good patience by the tight end. Good sell from Palandech.
Nicolai Bornand. And he's perfect with the kick. 66-59. This is an old WAC game, isn't it?
It is totally the whole WAC game.
Since UNLV entered the Mountain West, the 646 yards that Tony Sanchez's team has produced today is the most they've ever produced in a Mountain West game. So now Wyoming.
What do you got? What do you got left in the tank, folks?
They throw it to Mulhart and get a block and pick up about 6. You think it's been tough on the players? How about all these fans and the moms and dads? They're weary.
Jacob Hollister wide open.
Backside, open, touchdown, Hollister. That's what we talked about earlier. They waggle in a little throwback, and Hollister in the end zone for Wyoming, and they're an extra point from sending it to a 3rd overtime. Well designed.
Everything, all the actions going the opposite way. Hollister comes out. This backer sees it, but doesn't turn and run. If you're there on that boundary side, you've got to look up your route, find him.
You realize now, Seth, that this has turned into an arena game, something you're very familiar with, because there is a strong likelihood it's going to take more than 70
I
to
said
win
just
this
65.
game.
I said 65, and I was wrong. Who knew?
Well, things change a little bit as you go to the 3rd overtime. You now must go for 2 when you score a touchdown in the 3rd overtime. Crazy, exhilarating, exciting, marvelous.
And look at
game played today between UNLV and Wyoming.
fans have, I mean, every fan still here.
How can you leave?
Still here. One of the most entertaining games we've had on Root Sports.
Bull, Tony Sanchez. 66-66 as we go to a third overtime. Hollister, 4 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown for Jacob Hollister, senior tight end from Bend, Oregon. So Wyoming will have it first in the third overtime. Give it to Hill. And a play that probably should have lost 2 or 3. He's going to gain a couple.
Thought with his speed, he could have kept forcing the issue outside. He's got that kind of speed to bounce.
Gentry in the slot to the near side. Mulhart goes in motion. And he resets. Pressure coming. Allen's got a man. It is intercepted. Intercepted. It's McTire again. They were trying to get it to Mulhart, who was open initially, and now all UNLV needs is a field goal to win it.
Second down, for all his great plays, this is not one of them right here. He's rolling to his left, doesn't get much on it. Just throw it out of bounds. You have another down. Just throw it out of bounds. One he definitely wishes he could have back. See McTire in that nice trail technique right underneath the route, is able to undercut, finish.
Now you have a safe spot, one you feel comfortable, again, for your backup kicker if you're Tony Sanchez. And Williams is going to get 5. My guess is they're probably pretty close to it right now. From this spot, it would be about 38 yards.
If you get a play where you see the quarterback run to the middle so they can line him up, or maybe he likes it from the right hash. Wherever he likes it, that's where they're going to try and finish.
Williams gets the call again. He gets nothing. So it'll be 3rd and 5. Now you have a decision, because sometimes teams in these situations want to kick on 3rd in case you get a bad snap. Does not look like
we saw at the end of the first half.
Yeah, does not look like Coach Sanchez is going to throw the kicking unit out yet. So it's 3rd and 5. Again, figure they're going to be pretty conservative here. They'll go out of the gun. They do all the time with Green to his left. Palandech keeps it. Wingard makes the tackle, and this field goal attempt to win the game will be about 36 yards. Nicolai Bornand, again, is the backup. Evan Pantels kicks and punts for UNLV. It looked like he cramped up early in the 3rd quarter. Whatever the situation, because they were working on him, trying to stretch him out, he has not been in since. They're going to mark it on the 26-yard line. Now Wyoming will call a timeout.
Trevor Canteman's not the starting snapper either. Joe Lang out of the game. Canteman, the tight end, the backup snapper.
The only guy who's in a familiar spot on the kick unit, the guys that'll touch the football, is Palandech. He's the holder. But at the start of the day, Joe Lang, who's on crutches now, was the snapper. Pantels, as we have been discussing, was the kicker. Bornand's been a big part of this game. He has done a nice job in the kicking game since. And he had that huge punt at the time. We thought that may be the play of the game. It backed up with a minute to go, 1:05 to go, roughly, no timeouts. Wyoming on their own 2-yard line. It was a 51-yard punt.
Great punt. After he had struggled, giving up a flat punt, returned by Conway, but he can shut it down right now. He can finish this game.
Bornand for the win. Good snap, good hold, and
false start.
The kick was missed, but there was a flag and a whistle prior to the snap. It was Wyoming trying to call another timeout. Well, they didn't have one, so I doubt it was that.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
A snap infraction on a kick.
That's a lot of times it's the holder. He'll regrip. Right, it was just a false start right there on the right guard.
Yeah, it was Michael Chevalier. And so now it is a 41-yard kick officially. Bornand's a senior from Santa Barbara, California. This is for a UNLV win.
Low snap.
And he's got it. And the Rebels have pulled off the upset in 3 overtimes. 69-66 over Wyoming. Handing them their first conference loss of the year. What an incredible game. It was 1 point shy of the highest scoring game in the history of Division 1A football.
Man, this is incredible. And both teams had chances to put more points on the board. I mean, what a game. And this is the type of game that the team UNLV had become, would find a way to lose this game. Would find a way to lose.
I think a year, 2 years from now, when UNLV starts to be where Wyoming has gotten themselves to, they're going to look back, and this is going to be a transitional game in their process.
Did you see the hold? Palandech, unbelievable.
So the backup kicker from the backup snapper in 3 overtimes on a day where UNLV produced about 650 yards of total offense. They win it in 3 overtimes. Here's that hold again.
I mean, it's on the ground.
Great
Still
hold.
gets it down, gets the laces out of the way. That's a great hold, and it just kind of epitomizes the day that guy's had.
You would need 3 sheets of paper to mark down every big play that took place in this football game. Either big play or unlikely play or just extraordinary effort play. Tony Sanchez and the UNLV Rebels 69. The Wyoming Cowboys 66 in 3 overtimes. And our Ace Hardware player of the game is the quarterback who was named the starter this week, Kurt Palandech, a junior from Plainfield, Illinois. He's been the backup most of the year. He came in with just 23 attempts all season.
He was fantastic.
He came in with 40 yards rushing all season. He ran for over 100. He threw for over 200. He made good decisions. We assume he made pretty good checks also.
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. We saw him hit check down routes. We saw him do all the little things that they hadn't been able to get accomplished at the quarterback spot. He did all those things. He came in last week with some juice. They loved the way he played. He was only 10 of 21 last week, but he played with juice. And it carried into today, and he played great.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. You played for a long time. You played in the NFL. You played in the Arena League for many, many years. You did broadcasting for a long time. I've been doing this for 30 years. And, you know, I know it's fresh, but you start to think back in the deep recesses of your mind. You say, have you ever seen a game quite like this one? I don't know if I have.
No, I definitely haven't. With turns and spins, big catches, big plays. The timing of all these big plays, the 97-yard drive from Wyoming to even get it there to overtime with the catch.
With no timeouts.
With catch from Tanner Gentry with no time left. I mean, spectacular plays, exciting. Like, my heart rate is still up. I mean, this is a great game to watch.
Yeah, it was remarkable in so many ways. And, you know, put a postscript on this and a period, if you will. Wyoming still just one loss in conference play. They're 7-3. So many good things still in front of them. They have to find a way to regroup and take on one of the top teams in the conference in San Diego State next week. And UNLV, they have Boise State on the road. Let's go downstairs. Brad Thompson.
Drew, it's winning quarterback here. Kurt, how did you guys pull that off? What a game.
Well, you know, this pretty much sums up where we're at. A lot of adversity the whole game, and we just kept battling. I'm just proud of our guys, our defense, our offense. We had our ups and downs, but we were able to battle through and couldn't be happier.
What does it say about the heart of this team that you could go back and forth all these huge plays and in triple overtime come away with a win?
I think we're growing up. We don't have any quit in us. So, you know, we had our times where we could have put our hat down and said, oh, we lost this one. But no, we kept fighting, and I think that's where our team's really growing is we don't have no quit in us.
How big is it for you in your first start of the season to come away with a win today?
I mean, it's awesome. Not just for myself, for this team. You know, it's just great to come out here and get a win against a good team. Wyoming, they're having a great season, and couldn't be happier right now.
Congrats on a huge win.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Drew?
All right, Brad, thanks very much. And it's again, you keep coming back to the same adjectives: remarkable, amazing. All of them apply, and now both teams have to, get refocused. You can celebrate if you're UNLV tonight. Wyoming, they're gonna have to dig deep to get ready for San Diego State. But this one, I think all those kids who were involved, all the coaches involved, and there's a whole lot of experience on that sidelines, on both sidelines. This is one they won't ever forget.
Absolutely not. And when you look at Wyoming and moving forward, you got to go to San Diego State. You don't want to let a team beat you twice. You don't want to let this UNLV loss, triple overtime. You don't want to let this loss force another loss. But they've got to go up against a giant of a team that runs the football down your throat. UNLV has to ride this momentum. They still got an opportunity. Everything they want to do is still in front of them with 2 games left to try to get bowl eligible.
Yeah, really a crazy game, a fun game, one you're not likely to see in the near future again. In 3 overtimes, UNLV shocks Wyoming 69-66. For Seth Bonner, Brad Thompson, and our entire Root Sports crew, Drew Goodman saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you again for watching college football on Root Sports. Rebels over the Cowboys in 3 overtimes, 69-66.